it's Matt Webley here. Hope you're doing all right. In this video, we're going to talk about how building SaaS apps and building a business are two different things. So in 2025, AI got that good, the AI agents got that good at coding. Sorry if the camera's wobbling. The AI agents got that good at coding. I dare say they're already better than 99% of human coders in 2026, but they got that good at coding. Anybody, and I mean anybody, can now build a software as a service app. Okay, so subscription-based online software, business model worth billions and billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars or whatever it is per year. And a year ago, it took a long time to build it. It was expensive, it was slow, it took a high skill set. Like, it was just such a massive high barrier to entry to most people, unless you could code. And then even if you could code, you couldn't build a business still. Coders typically aren't very good business builders. But about like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years, 10 years ago, for the entire time, software as a service has been a thing since the dawn of time on the internet, pretty much. Like, it was basically impossible to get into unless you had deep pockets or a super high skill set or access to those things, right? So, and as of last year, everything changed. Now, if you give me a room of 100 people, right, I could teach, I believe, I'm gonna leave one out, 99 or 98 of those 100 people how to build SaaS. Remember, 1 year ago, 0 of that 100 room, statistically speaking, it would be 0.00001% or something would be capable of building a SaaS app. Coders or people with deep enough pockets and tenacity and all that stuff to deal with coders to build software as a service. So 1 year ago, almost nobody could build it. Fast forward to now, 2026, anybody can build a SaaS app. I mean anybody. I'm saying 98% of people because some people are frankly thick. Like, if you think about, is it called a bell curve? A bell curve of the population, and the average intelligence of the bell curve, and sorry if I'm losing you, don't worry, it's just be a second. The average intelligence of the population is in the middle of the bell curve, right? That bit, that's the average intelligence there, which means 50% of the population are below average intelligence. Well, there's like, I guess if you took 100% of people, like a cross-section of society, that means 50% above average intelligence, 50% are below. But there's some people really down there. Those people, I still believe, with guidance, I could get them over the line to build a software as a service. So it's like, literally, nobody knows this is a thing. Almost nobody knows about this, right? But now anybody could do it. Building a software as a service. So building a subscription-based online software product. Anybody can do it. If you don't even need to be able to type. If you can talk English or Spanish, if you could just talk, or you can type, you can now build software as a service. Now, some people, the below average intelligence people, might need a little bit more guidance, but I'm still convinced all but probably 2% of people can probably build software as a service. I've seen it. I've dealt with so many people now. Typically, the people that can't do it are people that tell themselves they can't do it and they just quit. But most people aren't cut out for business. If they were, there'd be millionaires and gazillionaires everywhere, and everybody would have a business and nobody will work for anyone. The reality is most people aren't cut out for business. So, but now, as of 2026, almost anybody, and I mean 98% plus of people, could build a software as a service. So what would stop you getting into the business model of SaaS a year ago, 2 years ago, it's gone. The high barrier to entry of cost, time, technical skill set, like ability to code, like know a programming language, understanding servers and all that stuff, that would have stopped you getting into the business. The floodgates have now opened, but unfortunately, for the vast majority of people, at least the ones that don't watch my channel, The vast majority of people don't even know it's a thing. And they'll only know it's a thing when it's too late, when they know Ted 3 doors down's got a SaaS business. What's this, Terry, what's this SaaS business that he's got like down there? Like, what's he talking about? What's SaaS? That is when it's too late. We are probably a good few years away from that, to be honest, because usually the masses do everything late and they don't understand what's going on until it's too late. But right now, we are in its infancy. You are right place, right time. It's just become technologically possible using AI to build a software as a service business, right? Sorry, a software as a service app, right? Anybody can do it, right? So 98% of people, with my guidance, I believe it's 100%, but with my guidance, for sure, 98% of people could build a software as a service app, right? Now, flip on the reverse side of that. So why isn't everyone doing it? And what's the challenge? The reverse side of that is building a business has always been hard. It's always been hard, right? And it's not, I mean, it's the easiest it's ever been right now, but it's still hard. If it wasn't hard, all these people down there driving, commuting to and from work or whatever they're doing, they would have their own businesses. Because who wants to work for an employer 9 to 5, or in Dubai it's longer hours, like I was speaking to a physio today. My physio works 12-hour days. He gets paid really well, shockingly well, but 12-hour days. I think he's only working like 4.5 days a week, so it's not terrible, but he works 12 hours a day by choice because he's stacking the cash and making the money. But if building a business was easy, why would he work 12-hour day shifts 4.5 days a week to stack the cash when he could build a business, an asset that made him money without exchanging time? So for most people that are in the 9 to 5 grind, it's a pipe dream, having their own business. It's all I've ever known. Don't get me wrong, I've had some crappy jobs. I've been a bin man. For my American friends, maybe that's a refuse collector or a garbage collector. I've been a bin man for a summer and I actually enjoyed it. I got a tan. I enjoyed it. But I've been a bin man. I've worked in a concrete factory. I've worked behind a bar as a cocktail waiter. I've worked in a nightclub as a glass collector. And I've done a bunch of other crappy jobs. I worked in Wetherspoons for 4 days. Not many people know that. But it's like, for 25, 26 years of my life, I've been in business, right? I've been a business owner. And once you crack the code on how to successfully build a business, you become unemployable. I've heard so many business owners that are successful say, I'm unemployable. It's not that they lack the skill set or the whatever to become an employee. No, once you've broke free of the matrix, for want of another expression, you don't ever want to get back in it. Like, if you saw my schedule, right, how much freedom is built into my life as a business owner, you'd be shocked at how much freedom I have compared to the vast majority of people. And the vast majority of adults go through their entire life being told when they can do this, where they can go, no, you can't do this. Even like go to the toilet, like I'm not at school. How's another human being telling me whether I can go to the toilet or not? Or whether I've got to come into work, like I've got to come and exchange my life, my life. I've got to exchange my life to achieve your objectives in return for you giving me enough money to buy food and put a roof over my head. That is bonkers to me. Why people opt for that, thinking it's the secure, safe, easy path, I'll never know. Because just the lack of freedom alone, once you've experienced freedom, it's like you could never go back. So why, when you think about the freedom attached to owning a successful business, why doesn't everyone do it? Now, the truth is, look, it's not all roses. Businesses are very rarely a straight line upwards. There's going to be days, weeks, months, or years whereby you feel stressed, you feel depressed, you feel like everything's going wrong, you feel like you're taking 2 steps forward and 10 steps back. you feel like this is over, like you're gonna go on a roller coaster of emotions that most people can't deal with as a business owner, right? I don't want to paint a picture of it's really easy. You click 3 buttons with AI, it builds your business and you make loads of money. That's actually fantasy, and fantasy that we need to steer away from. Because building a business is filled with stress, it's filled with doubts, it's filled with having to put time and effort into something with no direct exchange of money. You might spend a year of your life doing something and get nothing in return. Your business might fail and you've spent a year, 2 years, 5 years of your life. Maybe you even invest all your cash, not in AI SaaS, it's very cheap to do, but in typical businesses. Like you decide, I want to open a burger joint on the coast. Well, you're going to sink maybe your life savings or borrow somebody else's life savings. You're going to sink your life savings into building your dream burger joint, only to find out maybe 2 years, 3 years later of effort dealing with councils and getting permissions and food hygiene certificates and figuring out a recipe and all this stuff. After going through all of that pain of setting up the business, of which some of it will be fun, it's creative. I like setting up businesses. They are creative. It's a creative pursuit. If you've got a creative side, oftentimes you'll find graffiti artists or musicians and things like that do well in business because there's a creative element to entrepreneurship, right? And I'm not trying to paint a bad picture of it, but you can spend a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years of your life putting time and effort into something, and instead of that fair exchange of value, I will exchange my time for your money, like you get in a job, you might get nothing. In fact, you might have to pay for the privilege. But the thing is, right, you can try and build a business, or you can build a business in your spare time, right? And that's what I advise. I don't advise anybody quits their job and just goes, right, I'm going to use AI, I'm going to build a software as a service business, and I'm going to make a load of money. I don't advise that. That's not the right way to do it. The beauty of this business model is now, all of the barriers to entry that were there before, from a building a product that you can sell point of view, have been removed by AI. And there's a mass ignorance in the market. The vast majority of people, 99.9999999% of people, do not even know this exists. They do not even know what the software as a service business model is. You've got to think, when I've been talking to random people over the last 8-9 years while I've been in the SaaS business, and made over $12 million in my spare time. But when I get chatting to people, they say, oh, so what do you do? I can tell you right now, 99% of people that I've had that conversation with, and I've said, oh, I run SaaS businesses. They're like, eyes glazed over. They don't even know what SaaS is. I can even say to them, and I've had this conversation loads of times over the years, I can even say to them, it's like this, and describe a really common subscription-based service that I think they might have used. And it's like, their eyes are still glazed over. You could say, you're probably a customer of some SaaS now. There's probably some software as a service you probably pay and you subscribe to, and there's still eyes are glazed over. So the vast majority of humanity are still ignorant to the business model that's a multi-billion-dollar a year business model and growing. Like SaaS, the old school, traditional pre-AI SaaS, the vast majority of people don't even know what it is, even when they're a customer of it. So when you actually factor in how many people not only know what SaaS is, but now know that you can make money by building it using AI, it's infinitesimal, that's not a word, is it? I made my own caricature of a word there. But you know what I'm trying to say? It's a minute percentage of people that actually know. One, SaaS is a business model that's recurring income, run it from anywhere, passive, faceless, lots of good things about it, right? They don't know that bit, but then they don't know even more so that you can now do that bit with AI, and you can disrupt the old dinosaurs in the space using AI and build in 1 to 2 months what they maybe spent 1 decade building and millions of dollars. You can build it for $200, $300 in 2-3 months on your own. No technical ability, no AI knowledge. You're just speaking natural language, and you can even voice it if you want. You can talk to it. natural language to the AI agents, and they will build the software for you. So this opportunity is brand new. It's huge. It's as easy as it's ever been for normal people to get into. And as far as like risk goes, it's going to cost you a couple of months of doing 10 minutes to maybe 60 minutes a day for a month or two in your spare time. 10 minutes, 5 minutes. You can even use mobile apps to build it. There's a really good mobile app I use, and you can literally be on the toilet building your SaaS. And it's not like it's clunky and crap. It's actually a really good app, and you can build your software. So you could be at work and you could just tell the AI to do something and let it run on your mobile. Nobody even knows you're doing it. Like, and there it is, 3-4 minutes later, it says, I've done this, I've done that. You can either preview it, or you can say, no, do this. Or you can queue up a bunch of stuff. So you can queue up, as you're thinking about it, what you want it to do. Queue it up and it will just work through it, right? And so you can do that on your mobile. So you've got no excuses, really. If you have 5 minutes on the toilet every day, well, then you could have 5 minutes building your app every day. I'm not saying that's the best place to do it. You know, obviously, the more you put in, the more you get out. But I can show you the way, but I can't install work ethic into you. You have to do it. You have to show up, be consistent and do it, right? But the high level skill set, the technical knowledge, all that stuff is gone. Now you can build SaaS on the toilet, or under your desk at work, or on your break, like on the vans, whatever you're doing right now. Or when your kids napping, they're napping on the sofa while you're in front of the TV, doom scrolling on TikTok. Well, maybe get your phone out and just go, yeah, build me this little feature, and you tell it what to do, and 5 minutes later it's done it. 5 minutes later it's done a month's work in 5 minutes, and you can test it and it works. So anyway, so building SaaS is easy. I don't know why people wouldn't do it, because the opportunity is new, easy, as safe as it's going to get with regards to risk. You're going to risk a little bit of time, but the AI does most of it. You're just telling it what to do, then it does it for 10 minutes. And then you say, yeah, I didn't mean like that, do it like this instead, and it does it. Like, that's it. So building a SaaS app, 98% plus of the population can do it, unless you're absolutely cabbage level thick. Maybe then you can't. So what's the hard bit? Building a business. Building a business. So 98% of people can build an app now using AI. 98% of people can't build a business. And I'm going to tell you what it comes down to. The truth is, oftentimes it comes down to mindset. And I don't want to make this video woo-woo, but it just does, right? I have the mindset of, I can do anything. If another human being can do it, I can do it. There's certain things like plastering, I have tried. I don't know how you'd get me to plaster, but if another human being can do it, I can do it, whatever it is. Ollie jokes at me because I tell her I could make a better burger than Five Guys or Shake Shack or these other burger places. She literally, every day for the last week, we've been bantering about it. I've been like, look, give me 6 months. Today I was like, give me 6 days, I can make a better burger. And she's like, you can't make a better burger, Matt. Like, what? So you go in the kitchen now, make me a better burger? No, because I don't know the components. I've got to make sure the bun's right. I've got to make sure the burger patty's right and the seasoning's right. That's going to take me 6 months to do if I was setting up as a business to beat their burgers. I'm not a chef. I can't make a better burger out of the box. But it's like, literally, the most, I don't want to use any offensive terms, but the most, the most thick, I'm going to say thick because I can't offend anyone with that, the thickest, most random human beings working these burger joints. It's not hard, but she puts it on a pedestal and she thinks to think you guys be some Michelin star chef to make a good burger. No, it's bloody easy, right? And I know I could make a really good burger. If another human being can do it, I can do it, right? And that's the mindset of an entrepreneur. I don't look at businesses and go, oh, that's too big for me. I go, all right, Could I easily do that? Is it worth my time and effort to do that? Like, I don't know how to build skyscrapers, but you think I couldn't figure that out? I can figure that out. I just decide it's not my path. But if like somebody's built a skyscraper, right? They're just raising money from a bank or from investors or whatever. They're getting the planning permissions. They're probably hiring some smart guys that know how to build skyscrapers that don't fall over. And it's like, it's not impossible. I could go into the skyscraper business. I choose not to, right? And it's like, that's the mindset. A lot of employees don't have the right mindset. And that's just one of the things, right? And maybe I should make a mindset video for this channel, but the mindset is everything, right? So if I tell you what to do as a business owner that's had success for over 2 decades online, if I tell you this works, this works, this works, go do one of them, right? You've got to then go do it. If you don't do it, you're not going to get success. And what I've found is non-business owners, non-entrepreneurial types, people that are just like biz op seekers, they'll do passive stuff, but they won't do active stuff. So the active stuff, the active strategies, like let's say recruit a super affiliate, recruit one super affiliate. If you do that, your SaaS business will explode overnight, because that one super affiliate like will trigger a cascading snowball effect of other smaller affiliates, and then the name brand recognition will get out there from one person. So do a deal with one person. Find one person that could be a super affiliate. That strategy alone, one conversation, one person. You might have to knock on 100 doors to get them, but one person, that's it, you win. Your SaaS explodes overnight from that one person. And I've done this time and time again. I've been this person, I've been super affiliates for others, and I've recruited super affiliates. It's a conversation with one person, but you've got to do it. You've got to actually go out there and knock on virtual doors and do your best to get that one person to promote your software as a service. Now, there's a lot that goes into that. Having a USP that makes sense to them and lots of other stuff. You've got to create a sales process that gives away free trials that are right. I'm not saying there's one cog, build an app and then find a super affiliate, but essentially that would work, right? But getting them to do that, that's the tough bit, right? Can you get them to get the AI to do some SEO on your page? Yeah, they'll do that, but that's easy. It's fast, and anything that's easy and fast usually doesn't have the needle moving effect on the results of the business as something that's maybe hard or slow or painful or monotonous or scary. But business owners go, right, how do I find customers? Oh, that person with that audience, that niche target audience that's exactly in my SaaS space, if I can just get them to promote my SaaS, that's it, I'll get lots of customers. And then there'll be a snowball effect, because there'll be word of mouth, and month after month they stay, and then more people come, and then maybe another affiliate sees that they're promoting, so they promote, and that becomes passive. And all of a sudden you've created a snowball effect. You've built a business overnight, and all you did is built a SaaS app and recruit one decent affiliate. But there's lots of strategies, but the vast majority of people won't do that scary bit whereby you're going to have to talk to 20 people and maybe one of them says yeah and maybe they don't send no sales. Oh my gosh, you put all that effort in, you spoke to 20 people and only one of them promised to promote and then they didn't send any sales. Oh, that's it, quit. No, that's not how it works. You go, all right, and I'll talk to another 80 people, see what happens. So now you've talked to 100 people. Now you've had 5 people say they'll promote you, and one of them's actually sending a sale every couple of days. You just got a business. You just built a business. But it meant 100 conversations. It meant 80 people ignoring you, 10 people telling you to get lost, 5 people saying, yeah, I'll do that, and not doing it, 5 saying, yeah, I'll do it, they do it, and then 4 of them don't send any sales and 1 does. Boom, you just built a business. And that's not the only way to do it. That's just one strategy, but that's the mindset. It's not the mindset is no plan B. Unfortunately, when I could just go through the motions, I hate my job, but I just turn up, do the least possible, and I get paid. That's easy. That's cruising through life. That's never getting outside of your comfort zone. And that's a quick way to just a disastrous life that you'd regret and look back on and go, why was I a slave for money? Or you build a SaaS app using AI, which you couldn't do before, which hardly anyone knows is a thing, and you can do it, and you can disrupt that old dinosaur SaaS industry that's worth hundreds of billions of dollars, and you can go carve off your tiny little slither of niche. You only need to make 1K, 2K, 5K, 10K a month for it to be life-changing passive income for you. But that's life-changing, and who knows, it could go 20, 50, 100K a month. It could go more, right? But you only need to carve off a tiny little bit of customers in a tiny micro niche in a massive world of 8 billion humans or whatever there is. You only need a few. 100, 200 customers will create life-changing income for most people, right? You don't have to be Elon Musk. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to have a unique idea. You just have to say, look, I'm going to do whatever it takes to build this business. And 98% of people stay employees because they don't have the mindset of, right, I'm going to make this work no matter what. No matter what, no matter what it takes, no matter what the cost, I'm going to make this work. No plan B. I don't care if it takes me 6 months or 6 years. No plan B. Right? That's the mindset. That's the mindset of an entrepreneur. Take everything away from me, and assuming I've still got my brain and my mouth, I'll make it all back, right? And assuming AI is not taking job opportunities and business opportunities off everyone. But you get the point. So 98% of people can now build SaaS apps. 98% of people also can't build businesses. Now here's the silver lining, right? You might go, oh, well, I'm in the 98%. No, you're only in the 98% because you chose the easy path, right? And you didn't have anyone to guide you, nudge you in the right direction, and give you a message that maybe nobody else around you is giving you. And that is, look, entrepreneurship right now leads to a better life, a freer life. You can do what you want, where you want, when you want. Yes, it's bumpy. Yes, it's a roller coaster of emotions. Yes, you probably work for years, months, maybe years for nothing, or it'll feel like nothing, and then all of a sudden maybe you get success, but maybe you don't get any success. Yes, that's the journey, but that's why not everyone becomes an entrepreneur. That's why not everybody gets success in business, and that's a lot of that, honestly, is down to just mindset. So if you think I couldn't do that, well then you couldn't. That's the fact, that's the truth. You'll never be an entrepreneur. You'll never have the freedom that an entrepreneur has. But if you think, you know what, Matt's right, if somebody else can do that, I can do it. And if you know my background, I was a council estate kid. I wasn't particularly educated or talented. I dropped out of, I screwed up my A-levels. I hustled my way into university. I dropped out of university. It's not like I'm the brightest, sharpest knife in the drawer. Like quite the opposite. I didn't have any advantages, and I've managed to make business work for over 2 decades. Bumpy at times, that's the game, but you take the rough with the smooth. Some years you don't earn that much, and other years you make bank, and it's all about being smart in the times when you do make money and making good decisions to be able to ride out those rough times, and that is the game. But you can do it in your spare time. You can use AI now. The bit you can't do is build a business, even if you can build an app, because you don't have the right mindset. If you're one of these people that says, I can't do it, or that won't work for me, why won't it work for you? You've even got AI to be an advisor. You're going to ask AI, what do I do next? And it will tell you. And you bounce off AI. AI, what do you think to these features that I'm thinking about building? Do you think anyone will like them? Or what would you suggest would be a better way to implement this feature? Literally, it's like having a blooming $1 million like genius employee right next to you to bounce off. It's like having a business partner without having to pay them. You pay them $20 a month, like and like they can help you build a real thing. But most people aren't. Most people are doom scrolling on TikTok, wasting their lives, and not actually building anything. Go build a SaaS app, and then build a business from that app. You need a can-do attitude. If you need help with that attitude, I've now opened my call calendar up. You can book a call to chat to me. If we're a right fit to work together, I'll offer you a place, and maybe I can help you build an AI SaaS business. That's what I do. But other than that, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Hopefully you enjoyed this message. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. Hit the thumbs up button. And if you're interested in that kind of stuff, this kind of stuff, then you know where the subscribe button is. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.